Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night comic book stream here at Fantasy Books and Games. I'm Aaron. This is
What
Sam,
up?
and boy howdy, do we have a lot of new comics to talk about that are coming out tomorrow. I think last week I was like, oh, it's such a huge week, which it was. It was
It
a
was a
like
big
it
week.
was a really big week of stuff that's in my pull.
Yeah.
Like stuff like of ongoing series. This is the week that everybody's putting out a new series. There's
Mhm.
so many like first issues out coming out tomorrow, and we're going to talk about several of them. I
Yeah.
don't know about all of them,
A
but
fair
a
amount.
fair amount, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and start with the same thing that we always start
Yeah.
with, and I feel like we're cheated a little bit. There's only one facsimile coming out tomorrow,
Aw.
and I'm so used to there being at least two,
No
unless I'm
Fantastic
mistaken.
Four and Batman
Yeah,
and
no, like the
no.
regulars, the Civil War, Batman, Fantastic Four, like all of that, they're just not out this week.
Oh.
But there is one coming out, and it is a doozy. It is a big one, and that is DC and Marvel Superman and Spider Man. This is the second Superman Spider Man Treasury Edition crossover that they did. This is from 1980, and look at that; it's not even going to fit in
It's
our little
too
window here.
big.
We'll have to go to the full camera here, and it even still barely fits.
It cannot be contained.
Yeah, yeah. But this is Marvel Treasury Edition 28. So kind of similar to how they've done other crossovers before. I believe the other one was the one it was done in the late 70s. I want to say like 78ish, and that was
Mm.
probably more of a DC production, and this one's a Marvel production. So this one is written by Jim Shooter, pencils by Big John Buscema. So a lot like Marvel like mainstays doing this one, and I like this one. I don't like it as much as the other one. The
Uh.
other one is Jerry Conway and Ross Andrew, and like both of them, like not to I don't know, like I like all of these creators. John Buscema, of course, is great, and Jim Shooter is. People have strong opinions on him, but I short answer is I like him. But like with the other one that was reprinted of last month, like that one by Conway and Ross Andrew, both of those creators, Jerry Conway and Ross Andrew, they are like great pros that worked on both characters. 76. Oh, thank you. Thank you for catching
Actually.
that. Thank you for actualing me. Um, that makes sense because I thought it was a little earlier, but this second one is like 1980. But like they both worked on Superman and Spider-Man extensively.
Right.
Whereas I mean, Shooter did do the Legion when he was like 13 years old. Legitimately, he was like
Damn.
14 when he broke into the comic book
That's
industry,
insane.
and but like this one is like more just like Marvel characters or Marvel creators that didn't quite have the universal crossover that I think Ross Andrew and Jerry Conway have. But what I like about this one, oh, let's put it on the big camera because we're going to need a lot of camera because this one has the Hulk in it. And so we actually do get to see Superman versus the Hulk
Oh.
way before the Marvel versus DC uh, uh, 90s event. So that's pretty cool. And I really do like the way they establish, like, is the Hulk stronger than Superman? And in this, like, he cannot knock him down. He just wears him out. Like Superman just wears him out. So I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's a good book. I'm very very happy that Marvel and DC have been reprinting a lot of their. DC's been doing more of their Treasury reprints, and this one I'm sure is just getting reprinted as part of the yeah, you need a double monitor to see this one exactly. But like, I'm sure because of the upcoming new Superman, Spider-Man, that's why they're reprinting these. But
Right.
I'll take them because I'm very happy for them. A couple of trade paperbacks that are coming out tomorrow that's worth mentioning. Absolute Batman Volume 2. I know a lot of people are eagerly anticipating this one. And let's see, this collects issues 7 through 14. Let's see. I've not been reading Absolute Batman. You have, right,
Yes, I
Sam?
have.
So, how do you feel about Volume 2 versus Volume 1?
Um. Oh, that's a good question.
Because like Volume 1, everything was like really new. Like they were really building the world, and I feel like volume 2, I mean, obviously we have the whole Bane thing,
And Bane
and that
is
was a big no pun
yes,
intended part of the like what the story was, right?
right. Yeah.
Okay.
They get into some definite like surreal body horror with the second volume.
Okay.
Bane's the way that his body and physiology interacts with the Venom is way more out there than I guess traditional Batman.
Okay. Okay.
Trying to think of other comparisons like between the oh yeah, and we get some closure with Bruce's friends, specifically Waylon.
Let's just show off some of the art
Yeah,
from this.
I would say
Yeah, look
oh,
at
and
that.
that had the Mr. Freeze arc in it too.
Oh yeah, the freeze
Yeah.
issue. That was
Mm-hmm.
that one. Everybody really liked that one, right?
Yeah, that was good.
Cool. Very cool. Well, I know this one. Like I said, everybody is eagerly anticipating Absolute Batman Volume 2. So tomorrow we will have it in store. So come in and get it. Another trade paperback coming out tomorrow. I'm just going to
Ooh.
briefly mention Fantastic Four Fanfare. You know, I it's not often that I really recommend a Marvel book. You know, a lot of
Right.
times. Oh yeah, Heroic says Volume 2 was very Cronenbergian in the best ways. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I am a fan of
Couldn't have said
Cronenberg.
it better myself.
There we
Yeah.
go. But yeah, Fantastic Four Fanfare. This is it's an anthology series that Marvel put out. It came out around the time that the Fantastic Four movie was out. But what I liked about this one so much is that they brought in a lot of classic creators to do Fantastic Four stories. And so, I mean, there was so many. I can't even list all of them off the top of my head. Like I remember there was a Daniel Warren Johnson story for sure that I really liked. There was, gosh, do they even have like the creators listed on the back? Yeah, Mark Wade, Alan Davis, Andrew Wheeler, Jonathan Hickman, John Tyler Christopher, sorry, Andrew McIntosh, Mark Buckingham, Dan Slott, Tom DeFalco, Chip Zdarsky, J. Michael Straczynski. I mean, the list just keeps going on. But there's a lot of like guys that worked on Fantastic Four like in classic runs, and I thought it was really really good.
Yeah.
And every time I read one of these short stories by like a classic creator, I get a little frustrated. Like when I'm reading a story that's written by like Tom DeFalco or
Mm-hmm.
something, and I'm just like, hey, why don't they make comics like this anymore? Like I guess I'm gonna go full old man yells at cloud, but like I read some of the like these old pros just step in and just do a short story, and it's so effortless
Yeah.
and good, and like it just connects with me in a way that a lot of the newer stuff doesn't.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly really impressed by this. It was a lot better than I expected it to be, because sometimes anthology series just it feels like a lot of filler or B side material. But this was like most of it was A material, and you could tell it was a lot of creators again that have worked on Fantastic Four a lot in its rich history, and they were excited to just like step in and tell another great Fantastic Four story. So I recommend this one. If you didn't read the issues when it was coming out, it was really good. Let's see. Oh man, I got a big stack here. A couple of things that just like in my regular poll, I just want to briefly highlight. Savage Sword of Conan comes out tomorrow. I've been loving Titans Conan books, and Savage Sword is kind of like low key my favorite of the two, just because I appreciate the format of it being a magazine, and it's usually a longer story, like a 50-page story, just a little bit more adult in tone. And I like that it's black and white,
Right.
so you get these great artists, and you can really just appreciate the line work. That I guess I didn't flip through this one too much. I should be a little careful about which page I turn to.
It is Conan.
It is Conan, and I've been caught by this before. But yeah, I haven't read this one yet, but I am eagerly anticipating it. Also coming out tomorrow, another oversized book that I highly recommend: Space Scouts #3 by Matt Kint and Dave Rubin. And I don't know if they actually advertise it like this or try to sell it like this, but my like elevator pitch for this series is that it is Star Wars meets the Hunger Games meets the Legion of Superheroes. And
Yeah.
I've sold enough copies of it just by saying that to people. Like it's really good. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Matt Kint, of course, but I also really love David Rubin, sorry. Like he's just got a really great cartooning style. It's just really, really good comic art
Mm-hmm.
in a way that I'm just like always surprised when I don't see more comic artists working like this. You
Yeah.
know, like he's not chained to the like school of realism for the way he portrays characters, but they still are really expressive and they in a weird way they look more real. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I like this series a lot. Highly recommend it. I'm sure there will be a nice hardcover or trade paperback coming out soon. This is the last issue. It
Oh,
was
it's
only
only
three
three?
issues. Yeah,
Okay.
so that one will be wrapped up pretty soon. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I got so much stuff here. We'll just go down the line. Worth mentioning is it's like the age of crossovers,
Yes.
but these are two that have been crossing over a lot since before it became popular again. This is Archie versus Army of Darkness. That's right. This is another one where kind of the joke is the juxtaposition of Archie in the Army of Darkness setting, similar to, I mean, that's what all of them like. The going back to the original Archie meets the Punisher,
Oh yeah,
and
I remember that.
Archie versus the Predator, and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did read through this one, and it I guess not to spoil anything, but Ash is in it,
Okay, cool.
and it basically just reads like an Archie comic, but they kind of go through the plot of Army of Darkness, and it's kind of funny. That's where the humor comes from. Like they're like in Reggie's cabin, and they find the Necronomicon, and yeah, it's
Reggie would have the Necronomicon in his
right.
lap.
Exactly, he would,
It would be him.
But yeah, I enjoyed this, but I have to admit, like, I probably would have liked it more if it was just like an oversized one shot, similar to the Kevin Smith, Jay and Silent Bob Meet
Yeah.
Archie.
Okay.
I appreciated that one was just a single issue and
Yeah.
not like a 5 issue series where I'm
They're not
like,
trying to milk the gimmick.
yeah, I'm like, I like this. It's a fun cover, but I don't know if I really want to read a whole 5 issue story of it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I enjoyed it well enough, so I'll check out the next issue and see where it goes. Also, another number one coming out tomorrow. I have a few things I could probably say about this.
Thundar.
Thundar the Barbarian from Dynamite. Now, Sam, this is another one of those books that's in like IDW's license pool where they're
Mhm.
licensing all these old Hanna-Barbera cartoons and making new comics out of them. We've seen Space Ghost and Johnny Quest, Silverhawks, not just Hanna-Barbera, but 80s cartoons in
Right.
general, some of the lesser known stuff. And do you even recognize the name Thundar Barbarian, the Barbarian?
We have a lot of regulars who specifically asked for this book and put it on pre-orders,
Uh-huh.
and that is the only knowledge of Thundar the Barbarian that I have prior.
Okay. This is I've so I'm not gonna say I'm like a huge Thundar the Barbarian fan.
Okay.
But because I never watched it as a kid. It only went for one season in like 1981.
Oh.
But
It has such a following for that.
it has a fascinating origin. I'm not even talking about the issue yet, but the cartoon. So first of all, it was created by Steve Gerber,
okay.
comic book writer, creator of Howard the Duck, and a few other characters at Marvel. And he was trying to get out of comics and move into animation. So he had created this show, and it got picked up. Main character designs are by Alex Toth,
Okay.
who he created Space Ghost.
Right.
He did all those characters at Johnny Quest, like, so that you can see why this would be another one that Dynamite would want. But one of the like more interesting, like lesser known pieces of history is that Alex Toth only designed the main characters: Thundar, Ukla the Mock, and Princess what's her name. Not the character from Earthworm Jim, but
Right.
I don't remember her name, the princess. But so they brought in another artist to design all the villains and the backgrounds and vehicles and stuff, because they were wanting to do a toy line based off of it. And that artist was Jack Kirby.
Is that what?
And so you see this, yes, there's a little reference on the cover to that, where it's a post-apocalyptic world, and Ukla is lifting this street lamp, and it's got a street sign on it that says, it's clearly ripped, and it says Irby Street.
Yeah.
So that's a little sly reference to that. This was like basically co-created by Jack Kirby.
Oh.
And this was the cartoon that got Jack Kirby out of comics and into animation as an industry. And so he never, I don't think he worked for Marvel again after this. Like he
Really?
had left Marvel. This was, yeah, 1980 when it was in production.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
was right when he left Marvel. He still did some independent comic book stuff, but he was done with them. And this
Mhm.
was his way out. And then he just continued to work in animation until he retired. So I guess let's talk about the story of Thundar the Barbarian. It's a post-apocalyptic setting. I kind of love the silly absurdity of it. Is that a rogue planet just like crashes through near really close to Earth, in
Okay.
between the moon and Earth, and it
Wow.
just like destroys most life. Like it just throws everything out of whack into chaos.
Right.
And then like 2,000 years later, it's a like a Planet of the Apes type setting where there's just monsters and robots and just kind of all things of like sci-fi fantasy mix,
Sure.
very similar to like a kind of like a Samurai Jack or a He-Man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what's kind of fascinating about this is that the this you see a lot of similarities to He-Man in this. I mean, the main
Right.
character is a barbarian. They call him a barbarian. He has a magical sword, which is the sun sword. It's like a laser sword. This, and you can see this is very clearly influenced by Star Wars. Like the producers were like, we want a cartoon that's like Star Wars. That's why they're like, it has to have this like Wookiee type character in there
Okay.
and a princess, and he has to have a lightsaber. And so they created it, and they're like, okay, he's like a barbarian on a future post-apocalyptic Earth where there's monsters and uh, just kind of all types of mutant creatures. It's also very similar to Jack Kirby's Kamandi, where there's all these like animal people.
Yeah.
And yeah, like even the character, he's like got a He-Man haircut and everything.
That's exactly what
And
I was thinking.
so like this cartoon came out and they canceled it after one season, and then I think 2 years later He-Man came out and it was a smash success. Now I if I'm
They
not
were too
mistaken,
early.
He-Man was probably in production at the same time.
Okay.
I don't mean to imply that He-Man like just ripped off Thundar, but it is fascinating the similarities. And
Yeah.
like you said, it's like they were just a little too early.
Yeah.
Like if it had come out at the same time as He-Man, I wonder if they would have kept it going just to compete, because kids would have just bought all the toys,
Yeah.
But so yeah, the story of this issue, I should say also that it's written by Jason Aaron, so that's another reason
Oh,
that it
okay.
got my attention, because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, Jason Aaron is a good writer,
Yeah.
and he probably remembers watching Thunder the Barbarian as a kid. I like these covers a lot. They're by Michael Cho, and you can definitely see he has the like the vintage retro art style,
Hmm.
definitely a Jack Kirby influence. And the interior art is okay. I can't help but really wish
It was more
Cho.
Kirby-esque.
It was more Kirby, I just wish Cho was doing it and
Right.
doing
Yeah.
like Alex Toth Kirby style. But it still serves its purpose. It doesn't look unlike the cartoon. I guess that's what I would say, because
Okay.
the cartoon, it looked kind of like an Alex Toth style, but it was the animation at the time was never great, so
Yeah.
it's got a little bit of this going on, and it's fine. But basically, yeah, the main character, he's a barbarian and he just wanders this destroyed planet. I like that it has like these just like old cities, like remnants
Hmm.
of cities and stuff. And like he fights to free slaves. There's some villains that are looking for some magical devices. Kind of everything you want in like a post-apocalyptic sci-fi fantasy setting. So yeah, I thought this was like that's a very Jack Kirby
Design.
design character
Yeah.
right there. So yeah, I enjoyed this like more than I thought I would, because like I've been very critical of a lot of Diamond's other licensed work, because they license things like all these great series that were designed by Alex Toth,
Hmm.
who has a very signature style, a very good classical signature style, and then they just like the new books just have modern artists just doing whatever they
Right.
want. I feel like they're not actually living up to the artistic reputation of the property, and so that's just me being a huge snob. But so I feel like a just a one little extra step was taken with Thundar, like at least even with this, just at least the covers, they were
Right.
like, you know what, we need to like really And I wonder whose decision that was. If that was like an editor or like Michael or Cho just like really likes Thundar. And he's like, I want to do it. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. You might have to check it out. Now that it's like I said, it's got an interesting history. The episodes were a lot of episodes were written by classic comic book writers too, like Roy Thomas, and there's a few other ones that are I'm blanking on.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, so there's actually a pretty strong comic book connection to Thundar the Barbarian. And I wonder if it would have worked better as a comic book series. But,
yeah,
who knows? Who can say?
Hindsight.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about another new number one that's coming out tomorrow. And this is one that I believe we both read.
We both read
this it. Is, let's see, how do you pronounce this? How do you think?
Dork or Dork?
It is Dork or Dork. This is written and drawn by Brett Bean. He had, for the last couple of years, he's been the artist on I Hate Fairyland by Scotty Young.
Right.
He's taken over the art duties, and he's drawn a few other things, but I'm actually not super familiar with his work. So this was the first time I think I really read a full story, and I gotta say, I love his art. I can see why he replaced Scotty Young as the artist. Not replaced, but you know what I mean. I can see why.
Definitely got that aesthetic.
I can see why Scotty Young headhunted him to take over the art duties for I Hate Fairyland, because it looks great. And this is a pretty fun. I wouldn't say it's an irreverent comedy, but it is a comedy in a fantasy setting. It's a very. I kind of appreciated the simple setup of there's just this patch of land in between two warring factions. And I even like how simple it is the dark lands and the light lands and the dark lands, something like that. It's just literally just good and evil. It's very blunt, and purposely so, because that kind of comes out later with our main character, the Dork, who is a half dwarf, half orc character, and he picks no sides. He doesn't want to be. He's a fence sitter, but not entirely. But
he's literally sitting on the scar.
Yeah. There's kind of there's a little bit of a fable, a legend about him that he's going to destroy the world, and he doesn't even know what's going on. I like that he has this magical talking shield, and that really works for me because in a lot of fiction, a lot of classical mythical fantasy, you have talking weapons like the singing sword and other things like that, and I really like that in this one. It's just a shield, but he's got other weapons. He's got a bloodlust he wants to kill. So it's funny to me that it's a bloodthirsty shield who's he's a defensive weapon, but he wants to kill. So yeah, it's I enjoyed this. It didn't totally blow me away, but there was just really strong craft on display. I don't know. What did you think of it?
I'd agree with that. I typically don't I've never read I Hate Fairyland. I don't read things that have this level of whimsy terribly often.
Yeah, it is very lighthearted.
Yeah, and I found that refreshing. So it was something new to read. I like the main character. I like that he's, like you said, a fence sitter.
Yeah,
and that's definitely
that's definitely a theme that he's going with in the story of these two peoples that are in this forever war, and it's you have to pick a side. You're either with us or against us. And he's got that monologue where he's the world isn't.
They both suck.
Yeah, he's I hate both of them, and it's the world is not black and white.
Right.
So I appreciated that. There was kind of a simple, not a simple message, but
there's nuance.
There's some nuance, but it's not difficult to ascertain what he's getting at in the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. I liked what happened to the chicken. That was kind of.
Oh yeah, that was. I guess I won't necessarily spoil, but there was a funny chicken character, and
it's good.
Yeah, it was just
read it.
yeah. I recommend it. Sam and I both. Both 2 thumbs up from both of us. Alrighty. Let's see. Another number one coming out tomorrow.
Oh, I read
Did you read this one?
I did.
Excellent. Okay, this is Magic and Colossus. I flipped through this one, but I admit I did not read it because, It's just-
You're
I like both of these characters, but I've never had a strong attachment to either of them.
right.
I like Colossus a lot as like a part of the regular Claremont run on X-Men, but I do think that something interesting happened where they, for whatever stupid reason, they decided to kill Colossus in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And he was just dead in the comics for a long time. And then they brought him back in Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
I sort of feel like they just don't know what to do with the character
Now that he's back.
now that he's back. And it's kind of fascinating. This wasn't the reason they killed him in the 90s, but I do sort of feel like he is a character that kind of belongs in the 80s because it was a very like that Cold War America versus
Right.
Soviet era. So like him being Russian was like a bigger deal. And now it's just like whatever. He's he's Russian. Who
He's
cares?
just been around.
He's just been
you know,
around. Yeah.
He's been the juggernaut. He didn't get married. What else?
Yeah.
All the things
Yeah.
that they have done with him in the years just kind of feels
Mhm.
short to you. Or?
Yeah, I'm just never.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, I feel like nothing in the stories since nothing really sticks. Like it's
Yeah.
just everything is just everything now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
know what you mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't. Nothing feels like important. Yeah, but that's just maybe I'm just old. I won't rule that out. But anyway, so you read this. What did you think of it?
It was pretty good. The main reason that drew me to the book was I've never really read anything where they've established a strong like brother sister relationship between Magic and Colossus,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know if they really delivered that here.
That's another
Um,
thing that's I was hesitant to bring up
Yeah.
because like the relationship I mean maybe this is maybe a good reason for this comic to exist because the relationship between Magic and Colossus has always been kind of weak,
Yeah.
and that's because for most of Magic's existence she
She was
was kind of like a I'm actually rereading the original New Mutants run where
Okay.
Claremont establishes a lot of this lore about
Oh.
her where she spends time in the limbo
right?
dimension and that's where she ages up, and so they've always had a weird relationship because she originally when she was introduced she was like a little kid, like she was Colossus's kid sister.
Right. And she
You
almost
know,
gets run over by a tractor, and that's when his powers manifest.
yeah,
and-
yeah, exactly. And so she mostly just worked as like she's what Colossus is fighting for. You know, she's like
Right.
the reason he's a hero. And then to Claremont's credit, he really did try to turn her into a character in her own right.
Right.
And it's weird because like she ages up, so she's in limbo, and then she comes back and she's like 16. So she's aged like 6 or 7 or 8 years or something like that.
Sure.
And so their relationship is never really developed because their purpose in the story is kind of just that they've grown apart,
Right.
because like Colossus doesn't know her anymore because she spent 6 years in hell, and
They've grown apart.
they've
quite
grown
literally.
apart, literally grown apart. Yeah. And so I'm curious to see a series where they could kind of like reestablish more of a familial bond between the
Yeah.
two. So that's interesting, but I agree. I didn't totally get that in this first issue, but we'll see where it can go.
There were hints of it. Like they definitely, is this going to be an ongoing? Or
Yeah,
is-
I don't know about ongoing. I actually didn't look that up. It might only be a 5-issue series or
Okay,
something.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I just kind of assume everything's a 5-issue series these days, but we'll
It's a safe
see.
bet.
Right. But yeah, it was. I guess it was fine.
Yeah.
As I like.
I mean,
to
if
say.
you like X-Men stuff,
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Another number one. I don't even know if I want to say too much about this.
Up to you. We both read it.
We both read it. Okay. We'll briefly say because I know people are going to ask me about it tomorrow.
Sure.
So there's a new Ignition Press Ripcord comes out tomorrow. This is written by Cullen Bunn, and this is like I don't use this word too often, but because I don't think it's like meant to be like this, but it's a very decompressed written comic.
Yes.
There's a nice description on the back of the setting and the world that that the Ripcord takes place in, where there's this new drug called Ripcord, and when people take it, it like takes hold of them mentally and turns them into like super violent zombies, not necessarily zombies, but super violent kind of monsterish whatever. And they don't have control of their faculties and they're dangerous. And so the world's kind of like struggling to keep itself together because there's this drug epidemic, and wherever people are like hooked on these drugs, it's just like almost like a post-apocalyptic setting. That was the impression I got, and I wondered how much of that, if it feels like maybe you read that and then you see that the first opening page it's the story's taking place in Australia, and I'm like, oh, okay, I wonder if they're gonna go like Mad Max, like full Mad Max with this. And I don't mean Road Warrior. I mean the first Mad Max,
Right.
which if you've never seen it, it's like barely a post-apocalyptic setting. It's kind of just like contemporary 1979 Australia, except like there's just no real ruling government. So
Right.
there's just like these like police forces that are just like kind of like a judge, jury, and executioner kind of a thing, where they just try to keep the community together, and that's basically it. And I didn't really get any of that in this in this issue. It's all just like an introduction to the main character, but there's not a lot of world building in it,
No.
which I thought was interesting, to say the least.
It was an interesting choice, specifically because of the whole like series synopsis is on the back of the issue,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no, I mean, there's no tether to that whatsoever in the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
issue.
Like I didn't. If you had not, if I didn't read the back of the issue, I would not have predicted that
Right.
that's what was going on in this story.
I
So-
didn't read it until you told me to, and then
Right, yeah.
I was just wondering what this book was about.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
most part.
So that's curious to see. Like I said, I don't want to dwell too much on this one, but I'm curious to see the second issue to see if it can kind of like kick it up into high gear after that. Another #1 issue coming out tomorrow, Godzilla Infinity Roar. I know some people are excited about this one.
Nice.
This is a follow-up to the Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, which, if you didn't read that one, it ends with like the way the Marvel heroes defeat Godzilla. I think they send him into space.
Okay.
You know, and I did not read this issue, by the way. I'll be very honest with you, but I did read the first page, the first panel even, and I really like that this comic opens with this caption that says, "This is Earth," immediately followed by "Boo, boo." And let me tell you, I feel that pretty hard sometimes. You know, I just want to boo Earth every time I see it. And then there's a bunch of stuff about Godzilla, but like I said, I didn't read that. But I got a genuine LOL chuckle just at that opening. Boo, boo Earth.
That's a good way to open.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Okay, I don't want to talk about that one just yet. Let's see. There's a few things. Oh, let's briefly mention. Let's move on to some DC stuff.
Okay.
Let's see. Absolute Superman #16 comes out tomorrow. Just if you're keeping up with the Absolute books, I've been talking about this one a lot. I usually at least make mention of it. I'm enjoying it, but I don't like it as much as Absolute Wonder Woman or Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Right.
That's kind of where it stands.
I
but
agree with that.
I'm feeling just slightly, my interest levels are raised just ever so much because it feels like they're finally introducing some Superman characters into Absolute Superman. Of course, Hawkman is the one that's on the cover, but there are some other Superman characters that are being introduced into it. So I'm not going to flip through it too much, but I appreciated it. Also coming out tomorrow, a few other DC things. Batman #6. This Matt Fraction Batman run has been very good.
Yes.
Have you
I haven't read that most.
But you've been reading it.
Yes,
okay.
I have, and I've
So,
been loving it.
I really liked last issue. We talked about it on the stream.
Yeah.
But like I really liked that it was like a character driven story. I liked that Bruce Wayne wasn't in the Batman costume at all.
Right.
And I love the final page cliffhanger, I guess you could say, which it's been out for a month, so I'll just say that
the identity reveal.
Damian slips up and calls Bruce Wayne his dad when Damian is in costume as Robin, and Bruce Wayne is just in his civilian civvies, and he says that in front of a character. And there's a really good I really like this page here of Bruce Wayne just really coming down on Damian, just for like how much he messed up. And he gives him a pretty good, like, it's a pretty
Oh,
good,
he chews him out.
like,
huh?
he chews him out, yeah, where he's like, you think you know everything but you don't, so you need to smarten up, like,
Wow.
it's pretty good. And I think that's what I have really enjoyed about this Matt Fraction's Batman run, is that it's got, like, it's got plenty of Batman action, of course, but I think he does a good job with the little character moments like that,
Mhm.
where I get roped into the, like, the personal lives drama, and I think he does a good job with that. And it's really easy, I think, for a lot of Batman stories to kind of just fall into generic superhero. Batman is the smartest, and he just like
Right.
beats up villains and then outsmarts them and then beats them up.
No,
So
they've had some good genuine moments where it's like Batman reconsidering like what it means to be Batman.
Yeah,
Like from
yeah.
the first issue on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has been great. Like, I think, like, from the get go, I was like, issue one was okay. I like Matt Fraction. I'm not the world's biggest Batman fan, so I like, it is just fine. And then issue two was pretty good, and then issue three was a little bit better. And it's like, seriously, this series just keeps getting better with each issue.
Yep.
Like, I'm getting more invested in it, so I really like that. I haven't felt like that about a comic book series in a long time. Some other DC books coming out that are only barely worth mentioning. There are some DCKO tie-ins. This is, I don't even know if this is
that
the main.
AEW?
This is the DC versus AEW. I did not read this one. I'm just mentioning it because I know there are some people that are interested in this crossover. But yeah, we get AEW is wrestling.
Yes.
A wrestling troupe.
And not to be confused with the WWE.
Yeah, not the WWE, and also not the one that's owned by Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan owns a wrestling league?
Yeah, he owns a wrestling league.
The Smashing Pumpkins
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah, the Smashing Pumpkins guy. Yeah, and it's not very popular as I understand it, but he owns it, and it exists.
That's cool.
But yeah, this AEW, I think, is like, I'm not a wrestling fan myself, but I have some friends who are wrestling fans. So if I recall their conversations correctly, AEW is like second tier. Yeah. Like, they like it, but it's still no WWE,
Right.
But yeah, so this is, these wrestling characters getting involved in DCKO. And you do have, I appreciated where I did flip through it and I saw the page. This was one of the preview pages. Oh yeah, there you go. The mutants from Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of neat seeing them. But otherwise, yeah, like I said, I didn't read it. I don't like whenever artists try to give Guy like normal guy hair. Guy Gardner.
As opposed to
I like the bowl cut. I do. But I don't like when people try to go out of their way to make the bowl cut look stupid. He just needs to have like a normal bowl cut and like look it as best as a bowl cut can. And it's just funny that he has a bowl cut.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, DC versus AEW comes out tomorrow. Also, another crossover. I have a variant cover here for DC Boss Battle. And this is the variant cover by Patrick Horvath, I believe, the creator of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. And yes, congratulations, DC. You're going to get me to buy a DCKO tie-in book. I wouldn't even buy it just because Samantha from Beneath the Trees appears in it. But the fact that Patrick was able to do this variant cover for it featuring his character and the Joker, and I was like, all right, I'm not opposed to buying comics just for the covers. I've done it before, but I don't do it often, and this is one of the few times. I will say I did read through this issue though, because I wanted to see. So first of all, Samantha doesn't fight the Joker. She fights Lex Luthor.
Okay.
But I don't really care because this is a good cover, and it's such a everything about this is just kind of a throwaway issue. But like, it's neat to see, Red Sonja shows up. There's Sub-Zero. Just all these characters are in this. Annabelle, the Annabelle doll is in this. Like, what? Vampirella, which, by the way, I guess I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't even say this on the stream. This is a G-rated stream.
Whoa, what are you gonna say?
I mean, just Batwoman versus Vampirella. That has the potential to go some very not G-rated directions, and they don't do it in this comic, of course. But yeah, this is this issue takes place in between DCKO 3 and 4, so we'll
Is it going to have any effect on the bearings of like what characters are in the tournament, out of the tournament?
I'm gonna guess little. To be honest.
Okay.
This issue is the equivalent of the episode of Dragon Ball Z where the two characters are about to fight and they spend 20 minutes like powering up while the other characters are standing around commenting on like that the fight is about to happen.
That's quite a few episodes.
There's a lot of episodes like that. This issue is the equivalent of all of those episodes, and then it ends with a come back next time for the fight of the century.
Okay.
So, I mean, there is a lot of fighting in it though, but story wise, it's the equivalent of that.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm still fine. There are a lot of nice variant covers for this, I will say, for Boss Battle. I just, I'm a huge fan of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, so congratulations, they got me. And I'm glad that Patrick got paid, presumably, to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, two more things that we're going to talk about. I guess I'm not going to talk about this, but that issue of Nightmare Before Christmas, the Shiver of Christmas Town. I'm not reading this, but I'm buying it for my wife.
I read the first one.
Oh, did you? Yeah,
it was cute.
It was cute. Yeah, that was my opinion. Yeah, I read it. It was cute. Yeah. I'm probably not going to keep reading it, but if you like Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm sure you will enjoy it. Let's see. Oh, was there anything else in your stack?
Boss Battle.
Okay, and then
the book that you have right there.
We got it. All right. So briefly, before we talk about our kind of main event comic, Twilight Zone, new issue of Twilight Zone comes out tomorrow. This is issue 4 from the new IDW Dark series, and this issue is written and drawn by Nate Powell, and I liked this issue a lot.
The last issue was really good.
Last issue by James Stokoe was great.
Yeah.
This one, I liked this one. This one is really good too. This one is a little bit more of a horror Twilight Zone episode. Because that's what I liked about Twilight Zone, is that the episodes could kind of go in any direction. They were usually weird, but sometimes it was just like a weird sci-fi story. Sometimes it was a weird horror story. Sometimes it was just like a weird drama, about two characters. It's like there's a lot of different types of Twilight Zone. Sometimes it's a ghost story. Sometimes it's a monster story, and so this one is definitely like kind of a horror story. The main characters are these two twins, a brother and a sister, and they're going on a vacation. Let me put this on the big screen. And she rents this like boat that she thought had a glass bottom, but it's actually an open bottom. And they're like, oh, this whole boat's kind of trashy. And there's a lot of good like sibling arguing, as you do with your siblings,
right?
And I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but at a certain specific point they decide to jump through the hole in the boat, just thinking it's going to take them out into the bottom of the lake, and it takes them into somewhere weird,
like the
Twilight Zone. Exactly.
Cue the music.
Cue the there it is. But this whole series has been fantastic. I like that each issue is just a different creator, just telling each issue as a standalone story, and it feels very much like classic Twilight Zone. It doesn't. I don't know. There's like a lot of modern day Twilight Zone stuff is.
I haven't even seen many of the revivals.
The revivals are not always great. So I appreciate that this is in black and white.
Okay.
He did, Jordan Peele.
It was
Oh, no.
I didn't watch any of it.
So you're not missing anything. Okay. Okay, final book that we're going to talk about that's coming out tomorrow. It's the one I'm most excited about. I think it was definitely the best book that I read. Probably going to be my favorite book. Although it might be tied for Space Scouts, because I haven't read that one yet, but I really like that series. But what a coincidence, both books are written by the same guy, Matt Kindt. This is Night City, written by Matt Kindt and drawn by David Lapham. man, these guys are keeping busy.
David Lapham,
Like
especially.
we've
Yeah.
been talking about Lapham books a lot lately,
Hmm.
between Good as Dead and
American
American
Caper.
Caper and Hank Howard Pizza Detective.
Didn't he also do? Was he? Oh God, what was the name of the Wonder Twins book?
Yes, Hero Trade.
Hero
The Hero
Trade.
Trade. Yeah,
That was really
he's been
good.
doing a lot of stuff for Bad Idea Comics. This is a book at Dark Horse, but clearly, like Matt Kindt and David Lapp, they've worked together on stuff with Bad Idea. But I so first of all, I got to say, I loved this comic.
Yeah.
How did you feel about
I really enjoyed it myself.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a good concept. Well, you want to
What?
talk about it a little
Yeah,
bit?
like what is the concept? How did,
So the concept is there's a superhero very similar to Superman who's got, all this power. He's got to restrain himself so he doesn't hurt anybody, and he kind of gets to the point this one day when he really just wants to squeeze this
just
Lex Luthor
wants to finally put an end to this whole cycle?
right,
Like,
yeah. So he goes to his fortress of solitude, more or less,
Mm-hmm.
finds some sleep, and then when he's dreaming, he imagines himself as a completely different person, an ordinary person who's got an ordinary job. And
Yeah, he's just like he's. I mean, they make reference to like how boring his job is, like
yeah.
pattern analyst for an investment broker. Yeah, yeah, and he's just like office shenanigans. He's very mild mannered.
Yeah.
Like like the girl that he likes is just like way out of his league in this. She's his boss.
Right.
He
And it's the same girl as
as the
the Lois
superhero.
Lane proxy.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's the Lois Lane, and he has like a nice line where he's like, "Oh, I feel like I'm holding her back because she's always having to like be like assist me as a superhero,
Hmm.
and if I wasn't here, she would just be ruling the world, like And then that's sort of true when you
Yeah.
see,
He's
like,
not completely wrong.
yeah,
Like not ruling the world, but
but
ruling the world.
yeah,
Yeah. The
she could go
office.
so much further if she wasn't, with him,
Right.
you know. And I love this comic. It's got well, first of all, it's drawn by David Lapham, but the coloring is by Matt Kindt, which is
Okay.
what gives it this beautiful watercolor style. That's what
Mhm.
makes it look a little bit like Mind Management. I don't know if
Yeah.
you read that
I've
one.
read the first 2 volumes of Mind
Okay.
Management and then just didn't read it, not because I didn't want to, but I just didn't find
Just
the
fell off.
volumes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love Mind Management, and I really like Matt Kindt's specific type of. I was trying to figure out like what you call this. Like it's a little bit surreal. It's a little bit like a psychological, not a horror, but
Like, what's
thriller,
the
like a
word? Thriller.
psychological thriller,
Yeah.
And so you get that a little bit with Night City, but with like a comic book genre setting,
Yeah.
where he's a superhero. And I love the idea that like when he's dreaming, he's the regular man, and when the regular man is dreaming, he's a superhero. And there's a little bit of like we're not going to go into too many details, but there's like a little bit of a kind of like the Matrix, where it's like the real world and the dream world, and there's a little bit of a question of like which one is the real one,
Right.
like what's reality and what's the dream, and that's kind of all those ideas are present in this series. And it's what a strong first issue.
It was a very
It's
good start.
really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to read the rest of this. Also, I do want to say I love this back cover, which is just a beautiful pastiche of Silver Age Superboy comics. Like this Night City, that's the Superboy logo from the 60s.
Oh, okay.
And like the dialogue bubbles where he's like, crisis averted, but I'm so tired, I haven't slept in weeks. It's the night, he saved the city, hip hip hooray. And then they got this shifty looking guy. If my calculations are correct, when the night falls asleep, we all die. Like that's a very like Silver Age type of cover,
Yeah.
where like it's just constant threats of like the world ending if Superboy doesn't do this weird thing.
Right.
So beautiful back cover. It really hooked me instantly when I saw this. I was like, okay, I get it. Like I get what you're doing.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. So I definitely my favorite book. Highly, highly recommended if you like kind of weird, trippy superhero stuff. At By Two, I mean, these guys have been around for a while, but they're professionals. They are masters in this storytelling craft.
Yeah, I did not have that much exposure to David Lapham before this year.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
really,
should say last year too.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I've just been loving everything that he's making.
Yeah,
Like,
he's been so he did a lot of stuff at Image. He did his Stray Bullets series. He
mhm,
kind of had his own series, but since he's hooked up with Bad Idea and he's been working with a lot of other writers, I feel like he's just more out there now because his stuff's just more well, it's more varied. First of all, it's
right,
not just like issue 38 of Stray Bullets, which the comic book industry being what it is, if you didn't buy issue one of a series, you're probably not going to buy issue
right.
38. So I'm really glad that he's been pumping out so much great work lately between Bad Idea and now this at Dark Horse, and
Yeah,
and also I like the creators that he's working with.
yeah,
Like it's really good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Good
really
stuff.
good. So yeah, very excited about Night City. Highly recommend it. Yeah, I think we're gonna end it there. That's the last book I had to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, like our friend Dan says, there's comics out there for everybody. It's not just superheroes. Sometimes it's Twilight Zone or half dwarf, half orc,
Dork,
the
or
orc,
however you
dork.
say it.
But yeah, so yeah, swing on down to Fantasy Books and Games. Check us out, buy some comics, talk to me and Sam, tell us about your favorite book. That's what we are here for, and we'll help you find some good stuff as well, like Night City. 'Cause, man, it's great. All right, we're out of here. See y'all next time.
See
Bye.
ya.